What's going on, everybody? And welcome to our 25th JFH Hero Meetup. We do these every few weeks, sometimes once a month. And it's really about a jumping on point and connecting with our growing community, folks who are already part of the Justice for Hire cast, or folks that want to join and learn more about it. So you're always welcome. Everyone's always welcome to these wonderful experiences. And it's February 2022. Last month we did a pretty epic hero meetup, and the epic hero meetup had Danny Fingerroth from Marvel Comics, Spider-Man, former editor of Spider-Man comics, and had Angelique Zambrana from Gossip Girl, and Ron Polishuk, who was the for the Israeli film consulate, the wonderful guy and producer. So like these meetups are really important because our community connects with our network. You know, like the network. We're producing a show together. ReelwUrld is our studio that we are that's producing movies and shows with the world. Justice for Hire being our first movie and show with the world, and it's all about changing the way that we've done things in the past as a society. So like rather than the red tape and a bunch of the BS that's been associated with Hollywood and media, where everyone is a storyteller, everyone is a part of the narrative, and not just from the storytelling perspective, but also from the business side, being able to connect with anyone who is behind the scenes. They should all be a phone call away. And this week especially has been a big milestone in that shift, that next chapter of what we're doing. Last month we set an intention. Last week we started signing contracts with folks from our community to actually help build out this company and like take everything to the next level. This week I personally been on the phone with like heavy hitters from our network. You know, like the folks who are going to start popping up in the coming weeks. It's going to blow your mind. And so it's like really amazing people getting it. People getting it from the industry side, because everybody else, everyone who's on here and the consumers and like the general fandom, we all get it because it makes total sense. And social media has put us in that perspective of like, hey, you know, we can all create together. But now the business is getting it and the business is coming with us. So like everybody on these calls is a leader. One of our first investors says, and she says in our vision video, she says, when you're on ReelwUrld, like amateurs aren't amateurs, they're innovators. Like there's things that are happening here that yesterday I started live editing, and that's going to be a big part of the theme for today's talk, because I'm live editing on Twitch, Justice for Hire season 1. We have 4 episodes out of our season 0. And for anyone who is watching this after the fact, you can always join the cast from justiceforhire.app right now. But this has never been done before. So like no one's editing a show and saying, screw spoilers, this is beyond spoilers. Hey, we're going to use this take and not that take and having conversations while we're doing it. So it's on Twitch, it's on TikTok, and all of us are going to need to come together to actually fill in the gaps of the show, because there was all this premium content shot, but the premium content has to connect to the content shot on your phone as your own hero. In a story that you own and control, that just ties into the larger cinematic universe. Like we're actually uniting our stories in a very like clear end product way. Like the product is a show. We have a cinematic universe, we have a community, we have all this amazing stuff going on. There's all these opportunities across our community. But when it comes to the final product, what is it that you see, and how we're going to grow the community is by having a dope show. And people are going to be like, hold on, I could be in that? Like, what do you mean? You know, like, you just go to justiceforhire.app right now, you can be part of it. Like, what? That's crazy. If I was like a 16-year-old kid and I heard that, I'd flip out. So anyway, I want to just give that little intro. Everybody on here has been instrumental. You know, we have Eric, aka Yu Long. We have Guru Merkaba, aka Z Peoples. We have Autumn, aka AK Wonder. We have Ragdoll, who did this amazing, last week we did the very first in-character development call. So everybody has access to a development call, Hollywood-style development call, or multiple calls if you're working on your character and your story. But Ragdoll wanted to do it in character. And so I was like, oh my God. I got nervous because I hadn't done that before, but it was amazing because I had to go into like Jan, part of Justice for Hire mode in character, rather than Jan, like CEO ReelwUrld, trying to, work on with everybody on building something that hasn't been built before. So it was like awesome to do that with Ragdoll, and I highly recommend checking it out because 75% of that call is in character, and we're talking about her career as a hero in Justice for Hire and what she wants out of her career as a hero in Justice for Hire. And it's super fun stuff. And I would actually love to do that with everybody because that's the kind of stuff that'll make little clips into the series, and it'll just be super fun. And we have Andra, both in character and out of character. Andra, our CTO from ReelwUrld, but also developing the JFH app and leading all of that. We have Sensei Klaus, aka Mike, and Tai Chi Wonder, aka Ruben, but both are on here right now. Wonderful martial arts practitioners and really knowledgeable human beings. So just great people. So without further ado, I wanted to introduce everybody and to anyone who might be new to watching what we're doing, and just open up the conversation. I mean, like this live editing thing has never been done before. So I'm interested in anybody's thoughts for literally any approach. Because right now my approach yesterday was turn on Twitch, turn on TikTok, and sit there and try not to do something that might be like disgusting that no one that I might do in private, like pick my nose, on a live stream. So not to say that I pick my nose because I never do such things, but in the event that that might happen, I do my best not to. That's all I'm trying to say. So if there's any ideas or any concepts anyone wants to share or questions about how the live editing is going to work, or how the stories are going to tie together, or ideas on how we can tie stories together more for certain scenes. The scene I was cutting yesterday had Ruben in it, aka Tai Chi Wonder. So that was super fun, and there's a lot of work. Ragdoll, you got it. Here we go. Asking you to unmute.
I do have one question about how the live would work with, because you had mentioned filming clips. What if you're not, like, you're someone who's not watching the live, or so you don't know that you requested the clips?
That's a great question, because we had like next to nobody on Twitch, but we had like 586 people watching on TikTok. So we're new on Twitch. So that's a great question. And I think in general, from what I've learned from the Twitch streaming community, is it's not about your stream, it's about the clips that you pull from it. And I think that's super interesting because the specific asks, I'll likely pull those and just post them and say, hey, this is what's going on. And then it'll likely be a system where the ask happens in the live stream. We repost that just so that we can log it and people can see it. But then we'll go into the app and create a mission or a challenge to specifically address that needed scene. And like one of the things that I wrote down last night because I was falling asleep and the idea kind of like washed over me. I was like, there are certain shows that do that have transitions between scenes. Like sometimes the transition is a sound, like in Seinfeld. If you ever watch Seinfeld, they go, they have a little theme song, like that. But sometimes it's a visual cue that lets you know that you're transitioning between scenes. And I was like, it would be really dope to do something that shows a bunch of heroes every time we switch between scenes and just rapid fire show a bunch of heroes doing whatever their missions are. And in that way, we'll be able to be even more inclusive of everybody's content. And like, it's going to be really interesting too, because the whole concept of being in the show is that anybody who actually has content in the show will be able to get paid from the show if the show makes money and is profitable. So like, I started thinking on the business side, like, man, that's going to be a lot of payments we're going to be giving out, which is great. That's exactly the position we want to be in. But so I think that's really the process. And I'm super interested, even in that little concept right there. Like I said, I wrote that note down on the transitions last night. So if anyone remembers shows that have done transitions like that between scenes and have done really quick flashes of things, please either like, write a comment or tell me about it, or send a link, because like this is, again, we're doing something that's never been done before. And you know, anything we come up with has to be right. So, that's, yeah. Ruben, thank you for the nice goal emojis. But Guru, I'm super interested in your thought process as you've created some of the most like dynamic, like filmic pieces in JFH, and so I'm super interested in what some of your ideas would be on tying things together with heroes and transitions, etc. for the series.
So I appreciate that. First off, okay, so something I was thinking about, I guess in the theme or in the same vein as Warner Media, if we're going down that line, we could always pull something from classic Batman. You remember in between the scenes, they would do it would just go in and out. We could have different heroes going in and out, or where we have our own I know that the app sound is something that's iconic in J. Go through, exactly what the sound is, and so if you have something like that in between, you could have like a hero, like you could see them like third person recording themselves on the video, or something fun, silly, depending on the kind of energy and vibe we're trying to go for, especially when trying to do the scene transitions. A lot of what I see being created has a bit of satire going along with it. So it's a little bit of like that. You got the action, you got a little bit of comedy. So yeah.
Dude, that's thank you for and Ragdoll's got something too. And I saw Ragdoll, 1 second. I just want to address what I just pulled up the Batman. Thank you for that. I was like, that perfect combination of sound and image. And Mike, aka Sensei, if you could post a link to the Archer transition you're talking about, because I'm super interested in that. Like, that sounds really, really dope. And I've only seen a few episodes of Archer, but I love the voice actor. Well, I think everybody loves that voice actor. So, but Ragdoll, go for it.
I'm not sure if I'm saying what he was saying, and I've just not understood. But I was thinking maybe it'd be cool if some of the transitions would either be like he said, kind of like parodies, maybe of other hero intros, or it would be like either one hero or multiple heroes just doing something that would be closely related to the character. Like almost like example of like a parody, maybe like it would be a transition intro, but you'd see like nothing there. That type of parody. I think what I'm trying, like this like example, like like how they used to use the wands, but you wouldn't see anything type of thing. I keep saying that. I do not think anyone understands what I'm attempting to say.
No, I think Guru is really feeling. He's agreeing with you. Guru, can you expand on that?
Yeah, no, totally. I
100%
agree with Ragdoll. Like I'm Raven Simone, and you're watching Disney, and they do the little Disney ears into the sky, and it creates the magic Disney ears. That we all know. Yeah, right. Okay.
I'm Googling this right now.
Okay, it's something. The young whippersnappers today would not know what we're talking about, but
Disney ears with the wand.
90s, early 2000s. Yeah, they would have the Disney wand. Yeah, like for That's So Raven. I'm Raven Simone, and you're watching Disney, and then they would draw.
Sorry
Disney
for interrupting,
in the
but
sky.
like example, like it could be like, "Hi, I'm Ragdoll, and you're watching JFH."
Oh, that's dope.
Yes.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
so for that.
That makes total sense. I was like, look, I saw the Raven thing. I was just like, how would we do this? But that makes total sense. Thank you. That's a great idea. Huh.
And we can like you can even have us like, you know, drawing JFH in the sky, you know, and then if you know you had time, you could do the tracking overlay. And so then it leaves just the JFH symbol in the air after we have written it.
Oh man, you know, you're making me think about a graffiti artist too doing that. I mean, to call up Mirrors One. That's a great idea. Oh
That was
man.
dope, Ragdoll.
Yeah, thank you, Ragdoll. That's awesome. Sensei. Kanaus?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to elaborate on that. So I'm not saying do this, but I'm saying from editing perspective, it's the most creative thing I've seen in that. Where in the show Arch, if you guys don't know it, it's a weird kind of satirical James Bond cartoon. It's pretty funny. The way they transition scenes, they'll have a character speaking, and the last word they would have said is the first word of the next scene. So say there was going to be a cut from me to Eric, right? And this is lame, but say I was going to say I'm going to go, then he would be saying to the store as part of the next scene that comes up. Again, I'm not saying do this because it's not easy to get done right, but it's very creative, and I'm trying to find a good video of it. Haven't yet.
That's awesome. that's all. So that's a very particular stylistic choice. And
It is. Just thought it was interesting.
yeah, that's really, really cool. And I think that the cool thing is that, like, given what we're doing, the series will have its own like general tone to contain all these other tones. So we can essentially switch up styles like per episode, like, and that might quite possibly might be the thing to do. Especially as we start, you know, like Sensei, your character is very different than Ragdoll's, who's very different from Yu Long or Tai Chi Wonder, etc. And everybody, Guru, and everyone's got these very particular ways of dealing with reality. And I think that being able to allow the tone of that character to influence the tone of the episode, and then to tie that back to the larger experience is going to be great. So I want to focus even more on what you're saying, drill down a little bit more, because it's also in the writing. So given that we shot, there's certain things that we can't reshoot in the series, but there are things that as a community we can shoot to tie into what's already been shot. And so like we might be able to do, not might be, we 100% can do something like that for certain scenes. It's just a matter of making sure that the scenes that you might shoot on your end dynamically tie into whatever that last scene was. And so that goes back to Ragdoll's question of, hey, how are we going to know what's going on? And it's really going to be like, okay, well, we need this scene. Hey, everybody, here's a clip from the stream. Now, please go to the mission or challenge, which like directly asks in character to do something. And so that also might mean that, we might need clients. It may not be a JFH direct mission, but we might need a client who could be someone we know as a collective. It could be someone that we bring on. It could be an actor we hire. But essentially, like, clients should be hiring heroes, not just heroes saying, hey, do this or do that. So we need to more robustly populate the JFH app with clients. And I think that if anyone, this is a general ask right now, but anybody that you might have in mind in your personal life, et cetera, that could create missions for you to go on to hire your character, that's going to be a great way to not only, it's going to be a need, but it's also a great way to involve like family members and friends in what you're doing and what we're doing. Andra?
Hi, so I was just wondering, with these missions and challenges and the clients, how are they related to the storyline, to the series and to the episodes that are already out there? should these missions be connected to what we have so far, or are they completely? So what I'm asking, should someone go watch the starter pack and then create missions connected to that, or we're starting a new storyline completely?
So essentially, like right now, anybody can watch the starter pack and create missions like that, or recreate those missions, or anything that you might think of in your life. You can go and make a mission around it right now. Heroes can make missions and clients can make missions. Like heroes can a hero making a mission essentially is like shouting out an issue that needs to be addressed. But when it comes to like this new season, that starter pack is season 0, the true season 1 is built from the ground up for our concept of Uber for Heroes, to be inclusive of
so it's not related to the starter pack.
It is, because it takes place in the same cinematic universe, but it's the missions that we like. For example, all the missions that are on the app right now, which are, I think there are 8 or 10, but all those missions can totally pop up. And I actually, you know what? I think there's a better way for me to answer this. We're going to be adding and very much utilizing voiceovers. Like voiceover is going to be a big thing for every hero. And so a voiceover, let's say from my character or Cowboy, because Cowboy is actually, if you guys remember that mission, our first big mission we put out last year that wasn't, that was part of the series. Cowboy is actually the gateway. Like this first episode is about Cowboy coming into town. We already have Ragdoll, with content from Cowboy. We have a few other heroes with content from Cowboy, this Cowboy mission. And so, but Cowboy's played by UFC fighter Brendan Weaver. And so he's walking around town in a cowboy hat, and he's working with the main villain, or one of the main villains, who wants to create a competitor app to Justice for Hire. So, and yesterday, like we have a buddy from ESPN coming on to play his lead henchman. So it's gonna be super fun. A guy named Reed Kuhn, and he wrote the book on MMA statistics. He's a real data scientist. I've been talking to him for years about being involved, and he's going to be doing some Zoom scenes with the lead villain. So all this stuff will be tied together by narration, like the narration from Cowboy on figuring out who these heroes are. And so Cowboy might say, okay, tell me who Guru Merkaba is. And then someone will start, then it'll cut to an episode that is mostly about Guru Merkaba, and then tie into missions that Guru is doing, and then also connect missions to, let's say, Mouse. Mouse might be doing a similar mission that Guru's doing, or Ragdoll or Yulong. So essentially, like we can tie together through the narration the experience of multiple heroes while staying focused on one. And so we've already shot scenes of Cowboy like taking notes, because he carries a notepad around with him everywhere he goes. And he's taking notes on all these heroes, and he's getting insight from one of our internal heroes who's turned on us as an organization, who's giving information out on all these on the heroes that are currently in the database, and giving information out on you, Andra. It's like we already shot a scene where he's asking about Andra. So like, this is all.
Can I wait for him to come get me?
He's a big, strong man. Tell you that. So, but yeah, that's how we'll tie that together. So we have a lot of freedom given the amount of, like, I'm surrounded by hard drives literally right now, and all the hard drives have footage on them. So like we have a lot of options, and I have no idea how many episodes this first season is going to be. So, it could be 8, could be 10, it could be 20, because if we do start expanding like that, where each hero's narrative is connected to what Cowboy's doing, I highly doubt that we'll do that for like every hero. That'll be impossible. We will not do that for every hero, but we will definitely do it for a handful of heroes that are actually like producing regular high quality content and that it makes sense to like really feature. So yes. Thank you for that great question, though. Yulong, I'm super interested in.
Thank
I
you.
just saw my internet connection a little unstable, so it looked like everyone froze for a second. But I'm very interested, Yulong, especially Yulong and Guru. Like I feel like you guys have communicated a few times on like on collaboration. That can you update us on that as well? Because I've been ideating, especially, and I'll bring Tai Chi Wonder into this conversation in a second, but like, yeah, like creating a Tai Chi gang. You know, I think that's a kind of dope name too, Tai Chi gang. But yeah, I'm just interested in like you guys and your collaboration. How's that going?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. I want to make sure for these little things here. Well, after season 1, I just been putting a lot of time in writing. Started already working on episode 1 for season 2. Working on a few scenes before I start putting out. Working on a few episodes before I start putting that content out. I want to have a lot of stuff in the back so I can work on more and more and put more time into better quality. But I already have in mind. I just didn't want to say anything yet, but I will be making that text to Guru and Ruben over there, Tai Chi Wonder. See if I can get Ruben out here in PA to do some fun stuff with me, and we can work on some nice collabs with some green screen and Guru. And I don't know, I just got that coming, and I have a lot of ideas. I don't want to spill the beans, but I kind of shoot a few texts here and there to Guru saying, "Hey, look at this." I can't stop because I have so many ideas.
So that's awesome. And if anyone that doesn't already know, like Yulong has his own JFH series, and season 1 is complete. He's on season 2, and it's a huge deal. And so I'm interested in what you just said about the green screen collect. Like one of the things that we've talked about in the past, and I'm like, now is the time to actually start implementing it, and it connects to the idea of transitions between scenes, is communication between heroes that are in multiple locations. And you know, I've seen some stuff, I'd say really specifically in Do Ra Ra Ra, which I didn't know about until a bunch of the people on TikTok that were watching our viral episode commented and said, "Hey, this reminds us of Do Ra Ra Ra. Have you seen Do Ra Ra Ra?" And so I was like, "No, I'm gonna watch this." And I was just like, "Oh man, this is crazy." And like the tone is really, really interesting. There's a general container tone, but then every episode kind of has its own little flavor. But how people were communicating on the chats was super interesting in Do Ra Ra Ra. So I'm wondering, what are you guys thinking? And have you had a conversation yet about, you said green screen. Okay, I see a hand coming up. I see a palm.
Yeah, you do the thing.
Yes, there we go.
May I? So partially, I don't want to give too much away for what Yulong and we were gonna go over and get into, but something that any hero can utilize. If you have a phone and you have the capability of finding a completely green screen on there, you can essentially take any video from another hero, and with a simple app you can kind of just transpose it into that space, so that you can kind of show like a dynamic version of like voice chatting with another hero, if you've written a script with them. I know Yulong, Tai Chi, and I we've gone on Zoom, or no, actually no, we went on Riverside. We used the program Riverside to record our scene together. Went over a few times, and we were able to, have something dynamic, show a call in our universe that didn't feel out of place from what was already happening. And with a little color grading, we were able to kind of like find a space to like insert it into the episode. But yeah, I don't know. There's quite a few ways you can utilize green screen. But go ahead.
So that's what comes into my head. So with green screen, been starting to mess around with it a lot. It's really fun. You can just superimpose yourself in the background, in the bushes, watching another hero doing something, and have that screen just pan over slightly or just focus into look at that silhouette. Oh man, that's Guru right there. Who knew he was in there 2 years ago hiding out in the bushes watching what's going on? Maybe, like there's so many dynamic things we can work with that. And how we made that call. I mean, we worked on the scene and we worked it to get natural, get that emotion, and just put it in. These things can be easy. I mean, sometimes collabs could just be, you put on that video call, record it, put some background music to it. You put a little emotion. You really get into the state of mind for that, and just have it be a smooth transition right into that call. Have something that directs. Oh, there's a call coming, or I have to have this meeting, or I have to call someone, and boom, there you go. You have like 5 different heroes on a video call. And if someone ever had a villain character, then you could have a league of villains, like in My Hero Academia. You have a league, the league, the villain league, or just groups of people trying to figure out what they could do. I mean, we could all make a massive story.
Oh, absolutely.
And have major arcs that direct into different heroes and their journey. Maybe it could be a 3-minute thing. Maybe it could be a 20-minute thing, 2-episode thing, or or just whatever. It's like something that says this influenced such and such person, such and such character, and this is what happened with them. And just go into a quick overview of that, and just go right back into the main story of whoever was wanting that story arc to affect someone. Like something happening with me, I called Guru because, hey, Guru, something happened and I can't figure out what's going on in my world. He's like, yeah, something ill is happening here. And oh, wow, in our universe, this whole thing merged and, caused Yulong to not know certain things. And he had to call on other elders to figure it out. So in that issue with my story directly, I purposely had it affect Guru because I gave him the call. But that's how we brought each other in. Same thing with Ruben, That's how we brought each other in. And as we go along, and I find a better flow on how I'm working the Yulong series, I'll have this more reoccurring. Because the first one was just a straight run, recorded one whole episode and then spent the whole week editing, fixing, making sure it was all right. That's a lot. So instead of now going for a 6 to 10 minute episode, I'm going about 3-minute episode with the intro, outro. And what I was doing like 7 scenes for an episode, I'm doing 1 scene, 1 episode, concise, that literally directs what's happening, what's going to happen with that cliffhanger little thing going on for the next scene episode. So that's how I'm breaking it down. So it's easier for me to do. And I could put a lot more time into just giving the little extra tweaks and do the cool stuff that we're all trying to do now.
Also, to piggyback on that, if I may, like, we also had the ability to utilize each other, like leverage each other's abilities and skills when we were working with, say, if we're going to work with a green screen scene. I have experience working with green screen. I have my green screen, everything. We can go over editing, like reaching out to other heroes to not just collab, but to learn from or to like offer, a hand to, can go a long way. So I mean, because there's tons of things that I can offer for like, oh, make sure you have this specific lighting. You want to make sure your shadows cast on the outside of the frame of the scene, or just you want to make sure your lighting is consistent. If it's going to be coming from this way in the scene, you want to make sure you have an extra, all of these little things that I'm sure there's a multitude of us just like within these boxes right here that know a lot of this information. But just for those that are like watching out there, the other heroes that want to get more into collaboration and feel like they might be limited by what they have, like, you're never limited by what you have. It's when you realize that the other heroes and people in this community are here to be leveraged and to like, co-create, co-collab, quite literally creator.
You dropped in the color grading with me and I went, oh my God, that's amazing.
Right.
That
right.
really a lot of how I decided to do things with those videos.
Appreciate you, brother. Yeah, like, you know, and those little things help elevate each other. Like it wasn't my show, it wasn't my episode, it wasn't something I was producing, but still I was like, yo, so I just noticed something. I wanted to see if this would work. Here it is. Here's what here's like my idea. Here's the video. And he's like, what? And I'm like, sweet. Yep. I'm glad you like it. Here's how it like worked. Here's how you play with it. Like, I don't know. Sometimes we don't know what we're doing. We're just kind of like playing around until we figure it out. But yeah, I mean,
it was great. Look, I'm telling you, everyone, we could just text each other. What is that? How do I do this? What did you do that? How did you make that work?
Use the JFH chat. Like, go into chat. Be like, hey, heroes, I need some help with this.
Yeah, it's a big thing. Look, you know, maybe you don't know. Someone lives right around the corner from you, right? Or several states away or halfway around the country, and they're like, dude, just use the tint. And it can change the whole feel of everything you're doing.
Tint?
the tint? Too long. Send me your video, you long. I will do something. Look, oh my God. And I totally fanboyed again all over on it. I was like, oh my God, it's amazing. It's amazing. What did you do? And only just, ha 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 ha. You are too young, Padawan.
Guys, I think it would be incredibly valuable. Thank you for sharing all of that. But I think it would be super valuable for other heroes and the community as a whole if you two, like when time permits, could actually make a small video just talking about your experience collaborating together on that, like across coast. Because having a short, 2-minute video on that is like, just hearing what you guys said, it's opening so many things in my mind, and I think it's going to make it easier for other heroes to collaborate with folks like Ragdoll, for example. One of the things we were talking about is that she wants to collaborate with more heroes, and there's you guys are doing that, and you're forging a way. You're giving other people permission on how to do it in a repeatable fashion. So please, that's another direct ask. That's a very big deal. A video like that.
I'm in.
Thank you, Audra.
Yep, let's do it.
Yeah, so this is awesome because I've kept on seeing these past days, and I was thinking how we can, so all social media platforms, I know we have, I don't remember, maybe you can help, Jen, all posts recently, if they appear on more than one account, it shows that who posted it, who created it is joined. So how we can incorporate that in the scenes, saying, hey, I need help with this. I think we have a mission or a challenge. It's one of the challenges with Hero Help, but we can extend and expand on it further in such a way that, for example, if Ragdoll has like the chat is the first step, thanks Guru. But if no one's, because heroes do get notifications when someone writes on the chat, but only if it's addressed to them, if it's DM. So we need to figure out how we can, either through a new challenge or a mission, like for example, because even heroes can create missions. So if Guru needs help, he creates the mission for anyone and says, hey, I need help with this particular scene. So it just came to my mind, and I was thinking, because I've seen LinkedIn does it, Instagram. So I was like, well, people are already collaborating on our platform. How we can show it, and how we can deepen the community collaboration on our platform. But this is like for heroes too.
So Andra, so you're suggesting something similar to what Instagram implemented a few months ago, which is the if I'm understanding you correctly, the invite collaborator option, because that's why you're seeing two. I just started using that maybe 2 weeks ago, and Autumn told me I had seen it. Autumn told me it took her job, her workflow, and like cut it in half, it immensely helped her to speed up her process. And so I started doing it, and I'm like, oh man, I'm posting to 2 accounts simultaneously and promoting both brands because they're complementary brands. So is that what you're essentially saying?
Well, it's one step ahead is before you create that, like before you create the scene, or before, like if you're lacking something, is the same way as we have, I don't know, Autumn, it's the mission or a challenge, I don't know them all by heart, the hero help, but that can be
Mission.
yeah, that can be translated into a particular scene that needs help and needs collaborators. So I don't know if it's invite collaborator or just invite hero or team up, because we need to deepen the team implementation. So, and we assign a certain scene to a team. This is all up for discussion.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting. I think that the low hanging, the simplest thing to do is to be able to, for example, Tai Chi Wonder and Vintage and Juice last year made an episode, and it was for the Wash the Hate mission, and the three of them are in it, but it came up on Vintage's account. And so to be able to say show the collaborators, people who they teamed up with, I think that's like a singular multi-user post is a really valuable. We should probably add that to the list of something that's like really valuable.
Sure.
We should totally put,
Sure.
we totally put that on that list.
Sure.
But I think that what you're talking about outside of that is actually a larger, that's an ecosystem conversation, because when you're starting to talk about like inviting the collaborator prior to the content being created, like that to me has a lot of stuff to do with, it reminds me of like Hit Record and a lot of the stuff that they implemented prior to any, like they have a tracking system that's essentially like, years before like smart contracts, and they have all this other stuff that's really, really interesting to pull people in to say, hey, come and collaborate with me. And it's interesting. I think that it's the speed at which that experience moves. It's different on their platform because they're about creating anything together, and we're talking about making a show or a movie. And so
it's even more, I won't go more into it, but it's just that I remembered in December, we were talking about our current heroes sending people invites and to join them on the app. So I think this is just another step further into inviting people on the app, and maybe, I don't know, teaming up, and we assign a certain scene to a team. Or I don't know if this is a team functionality or if this is the create a mission for someone else to complete. This is, the people who, I'm more than happy to implement any of it. The people who actually use the app should talk more into what makes more sense for them.
Well, I think this is a pretty deep, this actually becomes a very deep app conversation. And like just being able to, I love the idea of somebody being able to take on a mission and invite a friend to take the mission on with them. Like that's really, really cool.
It's a process conversation. Sorry to interrupt. It's
a
process conversation. The app just comes to support that process.
Exactly.
But because it's the hero meetup, I think I'm just asking the heroes from a process perspective, and then the app just will support and implement that. But it's the process question.
I'm all for that. Like, I think that's a really great idea to add something, like being able to reach out to a team of people. You could reach out and collab as a team. You may not be necessarily in the same core team like we have on our profiles. I know there are a few people who come in as teams and they're like, oh yeah, we're team, team two toes, and everybody on the team has only got 2 toes, whatever it is, and so instead of something like that, like I can reach out to Yulong, I can reach out to Tai Chi, I could reach out to Sensei, like I could reach out to Creator and be like, y'all, we have something that is happening in all of our areas. I need your help in addressing this, getting this done, and not just in a way that is like a blurb as a mission from one hero to the others of like, hey, let's tackle this together, or I'm in the area, let's tackle this together. It kind of gives us a way, so it's not it's not so spread out to in communication of like, let me text you to see if we can meet up. Let me see if I can hit you up here. Let me see if I can hit you up there. It's like we could create like a little team of like, hey, this is the team. We're going to get together. We're going to do this all within the app so that it keeps us in the same area, same place. And it's also, you know, gives us that space to, you know, maybe if we're not all in the same place, we have another creator, you know, like Ragdoll in like a whole totally remote area. Like we're able to at least to link up in that sense of like, we know that we're going to be doing this mission together. We like Yulong could reach out to me on the app and link me in the content that he's getting ready to create. I need help with this. Boom. We hop in and we start working on that.
That's all. Yeah, that's fantastic. Oh, Ragdoll, you want to you add to that?
This is probably just from how I'm normal to collabs due to stuff with Mission Academy and everything. I'm used to like everyone makes the agreement of like, oh, it's the main editor and everyone will like film clips from where they are like I'll use my normal group for example. Say if me and T were in two different places, I would film my clips and T would film her clips. She'd send them to me. I would edit it together. So I'm like, I am not normal to the phrase managing to meet up. So I'm like, this is what I usually would do.
So I mean, and Ragdoll, you know, once again, following up on our conversation, like collaborators are on here right now. So like I actually think you guys would, everyone on this call makes a really great team. So I'd love you guys to be able to link up after. Hence Cast Chat.
I also like that.
I needed to point out that the Tai Chi Wonder, they're calling you Tai Chi. Like that's amazing. To have someone call you Tai Chi, that's a pretty dope hero shorthand for your hero name. So that's a huge honor. I was like, he's Tai Chi. So this is great, guys. I mean, like I'm really inspired right now because I personally have been waiting years to make Justice for Hire, like literally since high school. And to have it be in this form and to have this Zoom call be a part of how it's actually getting made, and like down to the cut, down to the transitions, down to of linking scenes. You know, this is a very, very big deal. And I love how this can catalyze conversations on like the processes that become technology. So like this is a really, really you know, I can't wait to put this video out on Monday to our community, like our like industry network, and to just be able to show like, look how this is evolving. Like now we're talking as a community about product, like not just about creative, but about end product that gets widely distributed on multiple platforms. Like that's unheard of. You know? It's a really big deal. So that's just me saying thank you, because I'm like massively inspired right now. And you know, and I had a call with another buddy earlier today, Robert Coombs, who I highly recommend checking out his TED Talk. But Robert was talking about, and maybe Autumn knows about this because I was going to mention this to you, Autumn. Donutting. I had never heard about this. It's a media journalism tactic, apparently, and that's my first time hearing about it. So maybe I might have even spelled it wrong. I put a D-O-N-U-T. It might be donut with the D-O-U-G-H. I don't know, but it's called donutting, and I have my notes that I took from my call with him right here. And it was interesting because he was talking about how to. Here we go. He came up with two amazing ideas. He was talking about sponsoring a hero, the concept of like actually sponsoring a hero, and how we can make a fun commercial of like, similar to sponsor somebody in another country, etc. kind of hero, kind of video, except for JFH Heroes and like sponsoring their training, sponsoring some of the production and all this other stuff. And it was really, really great idea. And so I took notes there. But another thing he was talking about, this donuting, is essentially how to bridge the gap, the cognitive gap between premium content and content shot on a phone that may not have the same premium treatment, lower resolution, etc. content, and that there is a shift in the mind, unconscious, by an audience member. And it was really, really amazing to hear him talk about this, because this is something that is not a lot of folks that are outside of like actual production, consistent production work, and nuanced, like a nuanced understanding of like what one tone or what one lens will do to the audience's perspective and their emotional state. And so he was talking about like just difference of quality of content. And the donating process is essentially to start and end a piece of content, a video, etc., with high quality. So in other words, and since we're talking about cutting a series right now that has premium content, meaning like produced, like planned footage, and then you like the content that we're all putting in shot from our phones that is supposed to be in the universe of Justice for Hire, like our storyline lends itself to this found footage or user-generated footage. But to just kind of look at it from the media perspective for a second, and I think this might be important, valuable for everybody, especially in giving feedback to me personally while we're going through this live editing process, live post-production process, is that the lower resolution footage is introduced as an example that Guru and Yulong already gave, picture in picture. To be able to use, you said, take the green screen, remove the green screen, put the hero in the back, and then put the other hero in the front. And like that, we were literally, I was just having that conversation earlier today. And that's part of the donating process, is that they introduced the lower resolution footage on a newscast, especially local newscasts, because someone might be on the scene and you might have wind in the microphone and all these other things that would subconsciously jar an audience member. And so what he was saying was that I'm seeing Yulong's cat crawling, and I thought it was Sensei's cat. And I was like, hold on, did the same cat move Zoom windows? But essentially that was one method of like the picture in picture. And then of course zooming into the low resolution video, and then how this also works for audio, where the sound of the on-site, on-location reporter would actually begin in the studio setting, so that the transition is easier on the mind. And essentially this is all about bridging the audience's mind, for the mind itself to give it, for the person to give themselves permission to consume the lower resolution content without having them feel disrupted or maybe even change the channel. And so we're one of the things that the takeaways from the talk with Robert was that there were two methods. We identified two methods of doing that process, of giving the subconscious mind permission to accept a particular type of footage that may not necessarily be the premium footage that we started the episode with. But he's like, you should definitely come up with a process of like 5 ways to do this, a list of 5 ways to do this. And like, you can always, so you don't have to come up with it while you're editing, like think about it from beforehand. So, and I just wanted to share that with you guys, because it's thematically connected to a conversation I had earlier. And I would love it if everybody has this on their mind of like, how do we bridge in each other's footage, knowing that it's going to be different. Someone's phone maybe have a higher quality camera than someone else's phone. And like, we want to make all this stuff work. So any ways that you might think of to help these transitions, please share them. We don't need to come to those conclusions on this hero meetup, but as time goes on, please think about that. And Yulong, you have your hand up.
Yeah. Actually, I'll start with where you ended. So this goes right into a conversation that Guru and I had maybe somewhere in November when we were talking about green screen. where I said, how about if I just recorded 20 minutes of the space I'm at, and then I could send that to you and you could impose yourself in it. And we could have a conversation with that. So if anything, someone who wants to have one of us pop up in that area, simply record that area for like, I don't know, 3 minutes, send it, we'll put it on the green screen, and you tell us what's going on, and we'll have that conversation with the air, recording it, send it back to you. There you are in the scene with two people, which is now letting the cat out of the bag of what I want to do in like the next 3-4 episodes. So anyway, excellent. I love how all of this just comes together, because you know what? When we brainstorm, oh my God, the whole planet gets destroyed and we make a new one. I mean, we really make amazing things happen. And like, you know, for each of our characters, some of it is, for some of us, this is our lifestyle, right? For some of us, it's like, hey, I get to just do this for a time and get away from the other stuff that is going on in my life. This is awesome. Either way, I say we create content based on that too. See, I'm sitting there going, you know what? I'm getting all 4 tires on my car changed today because when we got a flat and everything was all broken. And I'm sitting there and I'm just making this, oh, why did I ever decide to do Yulong in the first place? Hey, this is where it came from. And I made a piece of content about where it came from. Another thing, who is this person showing up? Like introducing certain aspects of our either quick personalities, our pet peeves, you know, like what is going on in your life for like 5 seconds? What happened? That's content. You opened the window, you saw birds fly right into your window. Just recreate that on your phone and just go, the hell's that? And maybe just drag and drop a picture of a bird smashed against the window. That's a piece of content. Like, what is your reaction to that? You know, like I see it happen all the time because I'm driving all day long and things are hitting the car. So, so I mean, from how do we jump into people's scenes? We got it. Just record the area you wanna have us in, and then we can work from there. On top of that, create pieces of content about you. I mean, we have tons of content. It's your life. I mean, geez, if we all just took a moment in 10 minutes, we can create tons of content about our character. And that could be a one-line, boom, picture of us looking up. That's our character, that's our expression. Boom. This is a little bit of what leads to the character development and how people are going to perceive that person. And that just builds a story just by that ambience, just by that presence of you having this thing of you in social media. In JFA.
Dude, I had to change the view on that one because I'm like, that's content. What you just said, that's content. We need to pull that clip. I didn't hear what you said, Guru, but
Piece of content.
Andra?
2 things. Isn't what Yulong described the challenges that we have in the training, development, and journey? And then what if we have video assets the base video assets the same way as we have audio assets to support characters when they join?
So we do have some base video assets, but I'm wondering, do you guys feel whether, I mean, a green chroma green should probably be on our assets folder right now, because someone may not know that chroma green is the thing to use, or if they need it, they may not know that they can just Google it and download chroma green. So I'm gonna literally get a chroma green image right now, and I'm gonna drop it into that assets folder so that people can use it. But is there anything specific that you guys think should be in the assets folder so that we can help people? What should we put in there?
Yes. Record where you record and put it in there.
Okay, hold on. So
so for this, let's say you're in your backyard and you want to shoot a scene, right? Have a scene of Jan sitting in the backyard, smoking a cigar, or just chilling out with a chair right there. Or leave that spot open. That's supposed to be a chair, and you send it over to Guru and be like, Guru, why don't you sit next to me? And we'll zoom it in close, put it out afar, and boom, your background is Guru's background. He's chilling there, and you send him, I don't know, 5 sentences. Say this, count to 10. I'm gonna react to you. Count to 10. And then you react to me, and you just do the expressions right there, and boom, both of you are turning to each other, laughing, spilling food on each other. A bird does its thing. Everything with birds, because that's all there is in this countryside over here. And and look, I can shoot my recording area that I have downstairs. I'll shoot 5 minutes of just leave one direction on for 5 minutes, upload it to JFH app. Anyone want to sit there and sit with me on in my round table over there and shoot a scene? Text me, and I'll say, okay, this is how we'll set it up. But you have the background. Anyone anywhere walking in the street, that's where any of us could stand right next to you. We can put each scene. It's complicated, but it's great.
So this is super interesting to me, because I want to make sure that we're all talking about the same thing. When you're talking about the assets folder, that when you press assets and you download as a hero taking on a mission, to a certain extent, like right now we have a general assets folder, and the general assets folder has music, video content, graphics, etc. It's fairly dense. There's a lot of stuff in there. For even graphics for you to put on your phone to like have JFH missions pop up, that are in character story missions, and you can make adjustments on. So all that stuff is on the app right now. The green screen I would add to that folder, but when you're talking about backgrounds and backgrounds specific to you and your story, that sounds to me like a more dynamic and more specific assets ask and assets folder that might be tailored to a mission that you're doing, or that another hero is doing, and part of the collaborative process that Andra was talking about before, because that seems to me like a new process that's not necessarily on our app right now, versus like the get assets folder right now as it is, which is like, hey, like if you're coming in early, here's a bunch of stuff that you can use. So I just want to differentiate between those two. Like that's
make a collab assets folder. Here you have collab with Yulong, 10 different scenes. That's collab with Guru, 10 different. Because all we have to do is record the area, and we'll record all 4 corners of the area we want to have, and you can use that as a background for you. Hey, Yulong, I was in your training center. You didn't know, right? So it could be used either heroes, villains. And it's just a collab an assets collab folder, where at least we have that resource for someone around the world who says, hey, I want to go to, I don't know, Chicago. Hey, Guru has some Chicago footage. We can use one of the area. We'll call it sets, because that's where we're going to utilize the scene.
I like that. Call it sets. That's cool.
Sets in assets. That was a good one. Like piece of content and sets in assets. That's like, I'm going to write them down and use them from now on.
That's great.
Sorry, more work. more work, I'm sorry.
So this brings up another, because I love that idea. And I want to give just a note for everybody that in the event you don't want to do green screen, I think it's super important to recognize that, let's say you're outside or you're inside, and you have Guru or another hero that might want to have a conversation with you. There's also simply doing shot and counter shot, and like you take your shot in your area, be mindful of the lighting, and then that person takes their shot in their area, and you don't necessarily need to have the green screen input, because I think the challenge with green screen from my experience is that green screen, as Guru articulated earlier, actually does require some knowledge of lighting. Like if your shadow's on the screen, or What's going on, Z981? It seems like you're new here. Welcome. But I think it's super important for heroes to know that they can collaborate even if they don't do the green screen stuff. And the green screen stuff, if you have like on iPhone, for example, you can use an app called Video Leap and use green screen like super quickly on Video Leap, even though it's not as accurate as I wish it was. And if anyone else has suggestions for apps like that, but I think that the green screen is a slightly higher lift for somebody, and like the lower lift is like just be mindful of texture, be mindful of background, be mindful of if you're shooting outside, be mindful of time of day, where the sun is facing, and like whoever is starting the collaboration essentially sets the tone. Because if you're starting the collaboration in the sun and it's here, it's going to be totally different if the other person is having the and the sun is right there on the like it's and these are things that we should probably be giving notes on in one little like tutorial videos like the one we were talking about for you guys, because that's going to give people just some insight. Not everyone wants to hear that. Like there's so many things that go into making a scene, and we want this to be easy and fast, like for people, and fun. And so like when we have that direction page on the Justice for Hire app, like being able to go in there and see some general direction. But if we start going into all these little things, it might be like, that's a lot. I'm okay. So we want folks we should definitely have a resource section that talks about this stuff. So Z981, what's going on? Welcome. Oh, it's Jay Edward. Welcome back. It's good to see you, or see your name. Well, I can hear you.
Infiltrated the JFH ranks. Oh no.
It's good to see you, Jay Edward. I can only hear seemingly breathing, but guys, I mean, I think this has been really, really powerful today, and I'm just really grateful for everyone taking time to do this every several weeks and every month. If there's anything any questions, thoughts, ideas that anyone wanted to share before we finish up, like this, I think we've covered a lot of ground, and like I said, like be on Twitch every day. I might even jump on a little bit tonight just to I spoke to our cinematographer yesterday on some sequence settings. So if I have to open up the editing app, I'm going to do it live. So, but if let me know, and please spread the word too. Like half of my days at this point are on spreading the word about our crowdfunding campaign. Like I have several calls tonight still about that. So we're on WeFunder.com/ReelwUrld. This is us building a studio with the world. And so it's very, very serious. And like us doing this right once means we can do it right every like a lot. We're going to have the fuel to actually build our studio, and we're going to get there. So it's a very, very big deal. Ragdoll.
Speaking with the whole collaboration thing, say with everyone in this group with wanting to collab, how would be the best to reach out to some of you and ask?
DM us in the app. That'd be the first way I would recommend reaching out to all of
But
the
I
heroes.
wasn't sure if Instagram DMs would be good or Justice for Hire itself.
Yeah, I think
Sorry
that
for interrupting.
in general, I believe that when you get a message on the Justice for Hire app, you get an email. Like when you get a DM, you should get an email. So if like it'll go right to Guru, like that's Guru Merkaba, that's Yu Long. We have Creator on here. We have Tai Chi Wonder. We have Sensei Claus. So all these folks that they all have profiles on the JFH app, and if you hit them up, it'll go right to their email, so you guys can coordinate from there. Surely, and then I think that Ragdoll, I think you see them on the IG chat too. But the IG chat for especially if anybody's watching this afterward, like everything is moved to the IG chat is really super foundational. Is that we don't have a lot of comparatively, there's way more people on the JFH app than on the IG chats at this point, which is great. There was a point in time where it was not like that.
I'm very happy.
Thank you, Andra. So, this is we're in a really good place right now. So, and I would love to see, especially because of the more ethereal tone that Ragdoll brings forth, and how that connects to Yulong and Guru's tone. I think that would be super interesting. So that would, if you guys do something together, that'd be great. I mean, any of the heroes on here are phenomenal, but you guys all have this kind of like spirit world kind of spooky tone to what you're doing, and it's dope. So I think that I'm looking forward to that collaboration. But thank you all, guys. This is every time it gets more inspiring. Like there's literally not been one hero meetup that hasn't been like, oh man, this is really going in the right direction. So look at a little happy hat, a little party hat Andra put up emoji. Eric, you had one more thing?
One more thing, and I'll keep it brief. Content creation. Everyone, do something small, like 5 moments, 5 seconds, an expression.
Piece of content.
It's the content, yeah. So anything, anything. Putting on shoes, tying your shoelace, brooding over the corner, sitting on the mailbox on the corner. That's what we had in New York. So you can just sit there for hours and brood. Like that's the next thing. I'm going to bring Yulong brooding. It's going to be really wild. But seriously, anything is content. It's the content.
Oh my God. Let's do that. Hold on. We should do that for Batman coming up. We should do
Oh my God. Oh no, you're taking it. No.
We got to do it. We got to do it for Batman coming up. We got to do brooding.
That's so fun. Brooding.
And don't forget, there's all the challenges that can be completed.
Yes.
Hopefully we get this. We will see if we can actually do something like official with the Batman. That's a conversation I had this week too. So hopefully we can get that moving forward. Either way, we should do it because that's hilarious. I think that's super dope. I couldn't hear you long, but I'm sure it was funny, joyous, and soothing at the same time.
It was.
Was that I Am Groot?
Brooding.
Oh, I thought you were doing.
What are you doing? I'm brooding.
Doing your Vin Diesel. Guys, thank you so much. I'm hoping you all have a wonderful President's Day weekend, right? That's what's happening. Presidents are being celebrated. It's great. Our wonderful country. Good life we lead. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And like always, feel free to reach out. Anybody, of course, as closing statements, justiceforhire.app. That's where you go to become part of the app. If you want to learn more about what Justice for Hire is before joining the app, go to justiceforhire.com, and then you can find the app from justiceforhire.com, where you just press the app and it takes you right back there. So outside of that, wefunder.com/ReelwUrld. Go and check it out. ReelwUrld. That's us building a studio around making movies and shows of the world. So it's a huge part of what we're doing every day. And at this point, like I said, most of my days are calling people and talking to them about that, or live editing. So really, or training to stay in shape so that I can actually shoot more Justice for Hire content. All these fine people. So thank you. Who just left? I'm not sure who just left, but Tai Chi Wonder just left. So thank you, Tai Chi Wonder. Thank you, Yulong. Thank you, Guru Merkaba. Thank you, Ragdoll. Thank you, Sensei Claus. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Andra. Thank you, AK Wonder and Jay Edward. We always love seeing you, even if it's just the text on your name. It's always great to have you here. So
That's a great day.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
You too.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Piece of content.